Hey, what's good, everyone? Twisty here with the Open Sorcery, and today I want to go ahead and talk about the fable of The Wolf and the Crane by the classical storyteller Aesop. Now, this isn't the first time I've covered any of Aesop's fables for the channel itself, or just my own personal reading or in a group setting. However, when it comes to the channel, I've gone ahead and done so for The Lion and the Mouse and The Hares and the Frogs previously, which I can go ahead and provide links in the description for those who wish to listen to my reciting and kind of, reflecting on them a little bit. However, when it comes to The Wolf and the Crane, it kind of has a bit of a contrasting sort of moral that is, parallel to or serving as a mirror of The Lion and the Mouse. And as I go ahead and read it, for those who have listened to either me speak about The Lion and the Mouse or read it on their own, you'll go ahead and get it. And if not, afterwards, I'll share some thoughts and also some prompts for food for thought, and for reflection afterwards in relation to the moral of the story here. So, let me go ahead and actually get into The Wolf and the Crane. So, here we go. A wolf had been feasting too greedily, and a bone had stuck crosswise in his throat. He could get it neither up nor down, and of course he could not eat the thing. Naturally, that was an awful state of affairs for a greedy wolf. So away he hurried to the crane. He was sure that she, with her long neck and bill, would easily be able to reach the bone and pull it out. "I will reward you very handsomely," said the wolf, "if you pull that bone out for me." The crane, as you can imagine, was very uneasy about putting her head in a wolf's throat, but she was grasping in nature, so she did what the wolf asked her to do. When the wolf felt that the bone was gone, he started to walk away. "But what about my reward?" called the crane anxiously. "What?" snarled the wolf, rolling around. "Haven't you got it? Isn't it enough that I let you take your head out of my mouth without snapping it off?" And the particular moral that is provided from the webpage that I went ahead and pulled this from is expect no reward for serving the wicked. So, take a moment to go ahead and let that sink in. When going ahead and try and do a good deed, try and help somebody out, with or without the expectation of reciprocation or getting a reward or getting some sort of, proper compensation, that sort of act being done and then pretty much being taken advantage of right there. That in of itself is what that tale is all about. He's trying to help somebody out, and there's like, yeah, you know what? You know what? You just, I got what I needed from you, and they pretty much dipped out. To put it very much in layman's terms. Now, the thing about it is that this fable by Aesop is a polar opposite, and in stark contrast to the tale of the Lion and the Mouse, as mentioned before. The reason being is that in that one, there was a matter of mercy given to the mouse, which led to a good deed eventually being returned to the lion, and that the lion was more so of the predatory figure in that one, in the food chain or the animal kingdom. And in letting the mouse go, the mouse went ahead and returned the favor. As tiny as he was able to assist the lion and pay back that sort of kindness that was given unto him. But in this one, the kindness of the crane was taken advantage of by the wolf, and while there wasn't any outright harm being given to the crane by killing or eating it, there were, his actions, or her actions actually, this was a female crane in the story, were unrewarded despite the promise by the wolf. So, in thinking about that, I have a few questions for you to go ahead and ask yourself in relation to that if you are interested in jotting down or writing down notes or just thinking about it, pondering it, ruminating on it. But the first question I got is, ask yourself in a manner of reflection, contemplation, In what situations have you or do you allow others to take your kindness for weakness by letting them benefit from your actions without any manner of reciprocation, especially when they proclaim that they'll reward you in some vague way or even specifically? So take a moment to think about that. And pause, the recording if you need to jot down or anything like that. Any thoughts, notes about any situations, anything like that. Now, the second one that I have here is, after recognizing whichever situations may be occurring that you allow for this to happen to yourself, take some time to ponder on these, following two questions here. The first of which is, what signs have shown themselves before when this sort of instance has happened previously? And the second of these two, to round out the three overall, is, how will I change these in other situations to where my efforts won't be taken for granted now and in the future? So take some time to ruminate on that, whether it be while you have this recording going, or after this recording, or pausing it, or rewinding, or anything like that. If you are in fact listening and are, going ahead and taking time to think about this to yourself. Now, once again, for any of these three, feel free to type or jot down notes if those help your thought processes for now and look back on them later. You can go ahead and do a voice recording yourself, just like I'm doing, to go ahead and, share my thoughts reciting this fable, and also giving a little bit of food for thought from me to you. And go ahead and you could do that, audio recording for yourself, or, whatever it is that you need to do. But take some time to actually think this through, because lo and behold, you may come to find that there's quite a few situations in your life that aren't necessarily ideal in terms of being mutually beneficial, and more so of a take and you giving to someone else taking from you, as opposed to a proper equal exchange, give and take, in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's not necessarily 50-50, maybe it's a 55-45, 60-40, but depending on whatever it is, there at least being some manner of, a flow between you and whomever else it may relate to. But yes, I will go ahead and kind of cap this off once again by stating, think about ways that you are being taken advantage of and allow others to take advantage of you. What can you do to go ahead and be able to identify what sort of interactions occur or have occurred where such is the case, where you don't necessarily need to put yourself in that position? Now, I will go ahead and put a caveat. There are some times where you need to be more so of a giving nature without expecting anything in return. Quite a few times in terms of the kindness of your actions and such, and that you will go ahead and get it back in, in perpetuity from, you can say, the forces of the universe, or karma, or just the flow of energy, or, whatever the case may be, paying things forward. But at the same time, there are those who are either ignorant of what they do, or have malicious intent, or greedy intent, and go ahead and take from you in a manner which is not beneficial for you. And this is all about just being able to have some manner of reflection to go ahead and try to learn the difference, and also be able to just have that presence of mind in regards to the connections and relationships you have with others. Now, before I actually truly close this, I will go ahead and provide a couple of different archangels that can assist for those who happen to do praying or invoking of different beings and entities and so on for clarity in regards to this particular subject of identifying these sorts of relationships or being able to go ahead and disseminate who or what cases that this story is more so reminiscent of for you. The first one being Archangel Raziel for providing clarity and such, and that, they're great to call upon. They go ahead and help, clear away the mist, you can say, the fog, the mental haze that may be within your brain when it comes to a particular subject or overall. The second one is Archangel Sandalphon, who's ideal not only for clarity in these sorts of endeavors, but also can provide protection for yourself when it comes to those seeking to do you harm by taking advantage of you, whether they're consciously aware of their impact or not, whether they're ignorant or cognizant of what they do, and all of that sort of thing. So, having given that particular extra addendum to this, once again, this has been me talking about the wolf and the crane and the fable about being taken advantage of. And hopefully this manner of rumination and thought can help lead to some good insights for you to go ahead and be a bit more discerning of the good situations and the bad situations, where going ahead and recognizing when you've been a little bit too kind to others, or when they're the type of people to stay away from interacting with overall, to where your kindness will not be taken for weakness or taken for granted. So with that having been said, this is Twisted with Open Sorcery, and stay frosty, Neguses. Peace.